and welcome to the first review slash preview video of our channel. And to commemorate this special occasion, I have decided to start with a title that I am extremely partial to. None other than my all-time favorite, the Ogre Battle, the March of the Black Queen title. Yep, just like the song from Queen, released in 1974, but I'm going off topic. So, let's dive into it. Now, for those of you who have not seen this game or have not played it, the first thing that you should know is that this is an RPG, a role-playing game, and it's tactical slash strategy, meaning that you have action in real time and it's also turn-based. The second thing that you need to know is that there are several versions of this game. The first one was released in 1993 for the Super Famicom in Japan, and later in 1995 for Super Nintendo. We have also a remake that was made in 1996 for the PlayStation 1, and at the same time, another version was released for the Sega Saturn in 1996. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to talk about these three versions as a whole, and then we are going to make a parallel between the three of them to see the differences between these three releases. Now, we are going to talk about plot. What can we say? The story of this game is simple yet interesting. You are the leader of a rebel faction. Sorry, wrong picture. The leader of a rebel faction that looks to overthrow the Empress Endora, who is evil, very evil, but looks good, very good. And you're gonna meet a wide variety of characters, and according to your actions, if you have the options to be either holier than thou or evil as the hot and evil empress that you need to overthrow. And according to your actions, you're gonna make things more complicated or easier for you. Now we are gonna go to talk about the features of this game.
Okay, so we are gonna start with the video. I'm gonna show you guys the Sega Saturn version, and we're gonna be reviewing the main features and whatever can be interesting about the game, so you can all see. Okay, first time is your title screen, the March of the Black Queen. Press start button, and we have three options: new game, continue, and configuration. Mostly for the sound and showing the backup RAM. That's something I never really bothered messing with. So we're gonna start a new game. By the way, kudos to the translating team because they made an amazing job with this game. Something I love is that that's probably gonna be the only loading screen that you can see in the whole game. It has basically no waiting times, unlike the PlayStation version. This is Warren, your co-host. I'm a great seer who can understand the destiny of stars have placed upon you. I will now use the power of the tarot. Well, so do a lot of ladies that I've seen in the mall. But first, tell me your name. Well, we're gonna use the name that the main character had in his cameo in the OGRE Battle 64 version. Gee, I wonder what system is that one? Nintendo 64. Duh. There you go. I never been into naming my characters weird names or anything like that. Tell me your sex. Male, female. No comments about that. Okay, so what he does here is he's giving you the option to pick several different answers for several questions that he's gonna start asking you. What's the importance of that? First, you're gonna see that you're drawing tarot cards that have an active use in the game during the battle scenes. And more important, these choices here they are gonna determine what the skills of your main character and the stats he's gonna have. Okay. I don't really care right now what stats I'm gonna pull, because I'm gonna... The purpose of this video is just to show you guys how the game is. But I really think that it would be a good idea if we make a Let's Play series about this game. It's really worth it, and I've been wanting to do that for quite a while already. So... let's see. And also, these, although I have a lot of experience playing the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation versions, I really am curious about this one in particular, because I got it not too long ago, and it has several features that the other versions don't have. And I have been able to try some. It has extra maps, extra enemies, extra bosses, and that's something that I find really, really cool. It's a big part of this game. Kill the traitor! Excellent. After a difficult battle, the army you lead was unfortunately defeated. What was the cause of your defeat? Oh, by the way, I'm sorry if my pronunciation is defective. It's faulty, because English is not my first language. So, lack of military strength. It's all about soldiers and money. I want money. That's what I want. It's difficult to rule those with ideas different from your own. No, Sherlock. Okay, this part, it doesn't really matter which card you choose, because I have tried the RNG of the game doesn't run in this part, so whatever you choose is gonna be the same all the time. Oh gods, please grant to our leader, blah blah blah. Okay, this screen is the first screen that you start playing with, and it has the world map. Here you have the first stage that you are gonna be playing into, and then you're gonna be, as the time passes and you keep passing more and more stages, they are gonna start filling your map until you arrive to this area where the game bosses are. Okay, let's check the options here. We have a range that lead us to a pretty menu here, where you can see the status of your characters in every unit. And let's see, we got this character, which I like personally. You have, according to the choices that you do with the tarot cards at the very beginning, you can get one of 4 different lords with different stats and different skills, and also different troops that will be accompanying him. Okay. Since we are in this screen, let me give you a little briefing about what the stats that this game uses for each character. You see the name at the very top. You have the class, Lord. This one is a Valkyrie, Fighter, and so on and so on. You see the level, the HP, that stands for hit points, like it's a tradition in every role-playing game. You have the strength, agility, intelligence, charisma, alignment, and luck. Strength is mostly important for characters in the front row and that use mostly physical attacks. And it what is it used for? It uses to calculate the amount of damage that your character can deal with physical attacks, and also for every troops plays a role in the amount of physical damage that they can take with physical attacks. Okay, that's strength. Agility, it plays a role as it's gonna determine the order that attacks are used in a fight, and also, and more important, is gonna determine the chance that your character has to land a successful attack with a physical hit, and also the chance that it has to evade a physical attack. So agility, high agility is always a good thing. Intelligence is like strength and agility combined, but for magical attacks and magical characters. If a character, like her in the back, has a higher intelligence, that means that the attack of hers that uses this stat, in her case lightning, is gonna cause a higher amount of damage. But also, it also means that if an enemy character attacks her or attacks any character with a higher intelligence, she will have a higher chance of evading said attack, or if that attack lands on her, she will be able to take less damage. Okay? Then you have two stats that are incredibly important for the game and play several roles: charisma and alignment. The charisma plays two main roles here. One is gonna determine it's a requirement to progressing and gaining new classes, okay, to get an upgrade to the class where they currently are. In all the human characters, a higher character is indispensable to be able to progress to the following class. Okay, so they don't get stuck in the class where they already are, and they have access to better classes and with better stats too. And the alignment, and the other feature about charisma is that it will it's a modifier that will allow you, if you find neutral characters in the game, it will give you a higher chance of recruiting them. Okay, also plays a role when you liberate a city, but we will talk about that later in the game. Alignment plays a similar role as charisma. It's a modifier that is incredibly important because it's a requirement to change classes too. There are certain classes that needs you to have a high charisma, like knights, for instance. A fighter with a high charisma will be able to get into classes like samurai or knight. If it has lower alignment, it will have access to different classes like a ninja or a wizard. Okay, and so on and so on. You have also something very important is that characters with high alignment, and the game will tell you that in the tutorial, will allow you to fight better during certain times of the day. Okay, this game progresses in real time, meaning that it has it alternates night and day when you play stage. So characters that have a higher alignment will play better during the day, and with lower alignment play better during the night. Also, characters with opposite alignments may deal more damage and take more damage from each other. Okay. Luck, it's really not as important as you might think, because there are not many ways to change it. Usually luck is the only stat that doesn't progress naturally when you level a character up, and it has a little impact on the other in the other stats, but more importantly, it will allow if the leader of a unit has a higher luck, it increases the chances of item drops after a fight, or finding items when you liberate either a city or a temple. Okay? Cost: every character except the opinion leader has a cost, a price that, or a fee, if you will, to be deployed. And the higher the levels, the more the pricier they get. So something that you have to keep in mind is that you always need to have a high balance, and it's all about moolah, baby. Okay, and as I said before, your characters have the chance to be either in front row or the back row, and according to that is gonna be the attacks that they are gonna use. So if I had this character in the front, that means that it's gonna perform a slash attack twice, but if I move it to the back row, it's gonna perform a slash attack but only once. And we have also characters that play better in the back. For instance, you have Valkyries, that they are meant to be a hybrid between a physical and a magical character, but as you can see in her stats, her strength is lower than her intelligence, so she's better suited to be in the back anyway. If she's in the front, she's gonna perform a cleave attack, that is a physical attack, or if she's in the back, she's gonna perform a lightning attack, that is a magical lightning elemental attack that is ranged. Okay, and so on and so on. Okay, you have the option to view the stats we just saw. We have remove character. You can remove a character from your unit and seating them in the bench, if you will. Formation, you can modify the position of your troops in the unit. Erase character, pretty self-explanatory. You can erase any character except your unit, your opinion leader. Change class allows your troops to change class if they meet the requirements for the class that you want to change them into. Okay, items, and this is another menu. Use item, pretty self-explanatory. Equip item, this allows any of your troops to equip items like armors or weapons in a particular unit. Okay, remove item to undo that. Sell item, pretty self-explanatory. Drop item, why would you want to erase an item that you might as well sell? Sort, this is to organize your inventory manually, and then you have organize to let the game do it for you. Okay, having said that, you have options. The first one, animation. I think part of the entertainment in this game is to see the animation, so I wouldn't change that. Background music, to turn music on and off. Sound effects on and off. Message speed, that means the speed of the text. Game speed, this allows choosing one of 3 speed values the game can be progressed. I personally leave it in default because really I personally don't see that big of a difference. Voice, well, one of the beauties that this version of the game has in particular is that you have voice dialogue, so why would you want to get rid of that unless you can stand Japanese? Which is not my case. Battle data. Here you can check all changes of parameters in a battle scene. I wouldn't really mess with that. And day display, as I was saying, the game has the options of progressing day and night, and that option I think changes that. I have never I never mess with that. And for last but not least, you have the data, your classic save, and load. Okay? Okay, now into the stage. We're gonna see this in more depth when we actually play the game in the Let's Play video. I love the background music of this game. I think it's pretty epic. Despite of how simple it is and how MIDI sounds were used, but it's very, very... I think it's a classic. Okay, so we're gonna move our troop. We have move, we have battle commands. This is the setting on how your troops are gonna attack the enemy troops. Optimal means that the artificial intelligence of the game is gonna decide what's the best way to ensure your victory in a fight. Personally, I don't like it because it doesn't tend to be very accurate. Kill strong meaning that it will not necessarily attack the strongest character, but the one with the highest HP. Okay. Also allows you to... It will deal less damage. You will deal less damage, but you will also take less damage. So that option is not as bad as you might think, and you might use that in several important fights. Okay, like when you want to weaken a unit but not kill it immediately. Focus leader, pretty self-explanatory. Kill weak, that's gonna, again, pretty self-explanatory, is gonna focus on the weakest unit, and then you can see some blood. Okay, and edit. Here, well, you have pretty much the same. You know these options already. It will allow you to edit a unit that has already been deployed. Okay. Move. It says plane type, meaning that this unit in particular moves better in a plain terrain. Okay? It's not suited to move fast in the mountains. Doesn't mean that it won't move in those terrains, it's just that it will be more efficient moving and faster if it moves in plains. And if I have to go to this point, for instance, instead of my character moving in a straight line, what he will do is he will walk all around in his terrain of choice to reach the same point. Okay? It can be a bit annoying sometimes, but there are certain units that will allow you to bypass that, because there are units that are supposed to fly, and it's always a plus to have one of those in certain units. Okay? Okay, so now we're gonna be daredevils here, and we're gonna go straight to the enemy base. This, what you can see here, well, you will see your character moving. In other maps, you will see that there are units that come out from the enemy base, but you won't be able to see them until they are close to one of your troops. Okay? Something different that has the Saturn version is that your characters, you can really tell if you're in the map and you see enemy troops and your troops, based on their appearance only. You won't be able to tell which one is an enemy or a friend, because they will have their particular colors. In the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation versions, that changes. Your unit here, because it's your unit, it will look completely yellow, and the enemy units, they will be displayed as gray. Okay? Okay, let's keep going. Dustin's unit has encountered an enemy.
我が城へようこそ。あなたをお待ちしておりました。あなたは悪しきゼテギネア帝国と戦わねばなりません。 星がそう告げています。私はこの先生術の結果を我らの仲間に伝えました。残念ながら皆は信用していません。
まさか貴様。
そこであなたが本当に我らの指導者にふさわしいかどうか試させてはくれませんか。
An old man in a physical fight. Oh no. Whatever will I do? Liberate all of the towns and churches from the Empire on this island. Everything will begin with that. Okay. Whatever, Mom. Dad. I will do as you say, Mom. Okay. Let's liberate some. Okay, so you will see what I was talking about earlier. This guy decided that it's a lot more efficient to... Oh, well, he proved me wrong. But see how slow he's going through that mountain? Climb every mountain! Okay. You liberate the trading city Daskania.
Liberation.
Liberation. Will you draw a tarot card from the deck? Well, I would hope so. I kinda deserve it. Just liberated you. I'm grateful. Okay, so something important here is that every time we liberate either a temple or a city, and we choose to draw a tarot card, they will be randomly pulled, and they will either raise or lower a certain specific stat on the characters, on the whole characters in the unit that is doing said liberation. Okay, so the character strength is 1 point up, meaning that every character in that troop, I mean in that squad or whatever you want to call it, has gained an extra permanent strength point. Will you keep this tarot card? Well, you know what? That's a pretty good question, because certain cards are not very useful in battle, and there is a limit on how many cards you can carry with you at the same time. So if you're a bit short on space, I mean, I think you can carry like 12 or 15, something like that. We will see that later. You should take care of how many cards you are carrying with you. And obviously keep the most useful ones, but we are gonna talk about those later. When you liberate towns and churches, you can gather intel and get tarot cards, what I just said. I just made your work easy, didn't I? Again, I said that before. Shall I repeat that? Nope. This is a video, so you can go back if you didn't get something. Okay, now, spoiler alert, there is a hidden city here, and we kinda need to find it and liberate it in order to progress in the story, but this is the only case where that is required so far I remember in this game. Dun, 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 dun. A good idea about finding hidden cities and temples is that they usually either give you some very important information, or they give you special items.
Liberation.
Liberation. Okay, this card in particular, this card has a very, very specific role in the gameplay. Because if you are in a map where you have several units deployed, and you still have several cities to liberate, and you pull this one, that means that every time every time someone pulls a tarot card in another city, the effect of that will be reflected in all the troops that you have deployed. See? Now the effects of tarot cards affected all dispatched units. Will you keep this tarot card? Actually, this tarot card is very useful in battle, because it acts as an absolute shield against magic attacks, and there are a lot of bosses here, if not most of them, especially endgame, that they like and will use magical attacks. Okay.
私の名はランスロット。
ランスロット。
ゼノビア王国騎士団のナイトだ。
I'm a knight of the royal clan, blah blah.
君がウォーレンの言っていた新しい我らの指導者か。確かにいい目をしている。
Don't you say? I like the look in your eyes.
我々はゼノビアの亡きグラン王のご無念を晴らすため今日まで
Hitting on me after 2 seconds after meeting me.
君とならばゼテギネア帝国を打ち滅ぼすことができそうだ。よし、君の力を認めよう。ゼテギネア帝国を倒し真の平和を手にするまで我らの命君と共に。
And he pledged his allegiance to me few seconds after meeting me. No comments. Okay, so now we are gonna move this troop here, and that's gonna be a pain because he has to go through water too, and that slows even more than a mountain. Okay, we're gonna liberate that temple, and we are gonna see that we have a new option here that is deploy unit, and we're gonna deploy the unit that just pledged his alliance to me. And we see that it takes 2410 goth to deploy this unit. Is it okay? Well, if it's not okay, then I don't know why I have him. Okay. Now we can see the enemy stats. 4-level wizard. And oh joy, we have not only one but two. So gee, I wonder who can win here. In certain stages, you will require specific characters to trigger special dialogues. And actually, I think that's a very, very cool feature. And also will allow you to get a better ending. Oh, something important about this game. Depending on the actions that you have taken along the game, and the characters that you have managed to recruit, it's the kind of ending that you will have. You have, I think it's about 13 endings, just like Chrono Trigger, to that you can obtain from the best to the worst. And this version has, I think it has even more, because of some hidden stages that it has that I still have to find out how to find them. Okay, Lancelot.
どうやら戦いの準備が整ったようですね。
戦う。
では私と勝負してください。見事私に勝てたなら
I love how dramatic Japanese voice acting is. I would totally be into it if I could speak Japanese myself.
So, 行きますよ。
Sa, ikimasu yo, while I expel this kidney stone. That's the impression I got. I'm sorry.
Find it out.
Okay, so usually, and especially for a unit that is fighting for the first time, they will be on default by default on optimal. So you might want to, in this case, you only have one enemy here, so you will want to go kill weak. Chances of you losing this fight are very remote. However, something that differentiates this game from others is that you have a set amount of actions during battle. If you reach the end of the battle where every character in the unit has performed all of their actions, and you still have no clear winner, then the one who wins the battle is the one who has suffered the less damage, or who has suffered less losses. I mean, dead units and such. Okay. And in the case of a boss, if at the end of the battle, no matter how much damage you have dealt, but the boss is still alive, then he's immediately the winner. Okay. We have tarot cards. Every card, as I said, has their unique purpose. This one is recovers your troops' HP. This one, that's an amazing card because it gives you an extra turn, and thus giving you more choices to deal more damage. Hierophant, this one puts an enemy unit to sleep, and I mean all of them. A chance to put them all to sleep. Strength, this one increases the unit's defensive power. Doesn't allow you to deal more damage, but will defend you from physical attacks better. Calls for Merlin, the Sage, to attack, and it will deal... I don't remember if it's a lightning or a physical attack. Okay. Death, this one is actually... I don't like to use that card, and I try to avoid it. Mostly because when you draw it, you suffer an immediate drop in your reputation, in your chaos frame. Oh, I'm gonna talk about that in a few. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna retreat, because I need to talk about this. This is very, 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 very important, because this gauge alone will dictate what kind of ending and who your troops will join. So, right now you start your gauge in a half. This is your reputation meter, or also called chaos frame. And according to the actions that you perform during the game, during the whole game, your gauge will fill up or deplete. Okay? So, if you want to get the better ending, of course, you have to try to fill this gauge 100%. Okay? And there are characters that will only join you if your gauge is at over a certain point or under a certain point. Okay? Okay. Now we're gonna move into battle. Into battle again. No dialogue because we already had one. Okay, and now I'm gonna use a tarot card just to show you how it works. I think it's a bit of an overkill to use the world cards mostly, but I'm gonna do it. What the hell? Magic shield. So now any attack that he will deal will be useless. And we are just gonna use that. This one is useless against bosses. This one deals a lot of damage, and I want to show you guys how this fights progress, so I'm not gonna use any of those. Okay. That's considered a physical attack, although it's magic based and it's ranged. That's why mages are useful. Charisma up. Every time you kill an enemy in this game, the unit that deals the killing blow will experience changes in their charisma and their alignment. If you kill an enemy whose level is above yours, and the more levels, the better, your character will gain charisma and their alignment will raise. However, if you kill an enemy that, and that also is true if you kill an enemy with lower alignment, your own alignment will tend to go up. Now, if you kill an enemy that has a higher alignment, a holy unit, an angel, a knight, yes, we have angels too, an essentially good character, and or if that character has a lower level than yours, then your charisma won't raise. It will probably go down, and your alignment will definitely go down too. Okay? So you need. I think one of the most important elements in this game is trying to balance that factor, because that will completely affect what troops you will have, and there are certain troops that you will want that will make your life a lot easier, but also are a lot harder to get, precisely because you need to balance their charisma and their alignment stats.
今こそ我らの命をあなたに預けることにします。
します。
さあ、ゼテギネア帝国を倒すまで共に命を懸けて戦いましょうぞ。
So, I assume that he hasn't expelled that kidney stone yet. Poor guy. Typical at his age. And now you have liberated this map. And you earn money, because that's what you want. You want money. And the chance of saving your game.
So, as you can see, these were the main elements that feature this game. It's a very entertaining and it's very challenging. It has a very adequate difficulty level. And as I said before, the three versions that we mentioned before has a few differences. The Super Nintendo version is the one that is the most known and also the most basic. The remake for the PlayStation is, well, as I said before, a remake of the Super Nintendo version, but it has remastered soundtracks and remastered graphics, and that's most of it. Now, the version that you guys saw me playing is the Sega Saturn version, which not only features voice acting, which in my opinion, has a very strong plus for this one in particular. Also features certain themes, certain maps that are not present in the other versions. So, in we are preparing a presentation which is going to include a let's play, and we're going to focus entirely on the Sega Saturn version. Okay. If you like the what you just saw and the material that we presented is interesting enough, please consider giving us a like and subscribe. Until the next time.